This is unbelievable. There's not many players that can say that they stop so many chances from Messi himself.
It was special.
Having that ego and then putting it aside.
There was no egos in that group, and that was the reason of our success, yeah.
Welcome to another episode of the Send Up Podcast. Here we have Maxime Crepeau, goalkeeper for the Portland Timbers and the Canadian national team. Max, thanks so much for being with us.
Well, thanks for inviting me. Happy to be here.
Yeah, you've been a friend of the brand for several years with the Grip Socks. We got a few more things that are cooking there, and it's fun now to sit down with you and have some time to go into your journey to, starting from a kid in Canada to being today an MLS star.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, but it's been good. I have a privilege to live off my passion, obviously, and there's a lot of work, a lot of effort there, but it's been quite a ride.
We'll talk and we'll dive deep into that. But the first question that I like to ask is, who is Maxime Crepeau?
It's a good question. It's a good first question. I love life, I'm very nice and easy, very easy to approach, I would say, and I don't take everything too seriously sometimes. I take some things with a grain of salt. I like smiling, cracking jokes, even though in a serious environment, I'm like this. But when it's time to, obviously, to play and to do serious things, well, obviously I apply myself and I give everything that I have. So. That would be my person, very calm, joyful, and very, very light as a person, yeah.
Do you think that's a bit of a coping mechanism where, right, like there's moments where you gotta be like locked in, like ready to go, like it's you and those three posts, and a coping mechanism is just to like not take everything else so serious and just kind of like let go a little bit and have fun?
Yeah, maybe I think it could be an angle to see it, of like everything is so serious, so tense at one point. Obviously there's no room for any error, and now as soon as I just get out of the rectangle basically of the field, my true personality shows. But even on the field, sometimes when it's time to goof around, I'm like the first one to do so. So yeah, I'm being myself, just being a little joker sometimes, and always trying to push everybody forward. Yeah,
that's good. I love it. Talk to me about the early days as a Canadian kid, playing soccer, fall in love with the game, discovering goalkeeping as a position in a country that traditionally is all about ice hockey.
Yeah, but you just said it right now. Like the culture is literally ice hockey. Born and raised in Montreal. It's funny that you say that, because right now, tonight, Montreal Canadiens are playing first round of playoff against Capitals Washington, and the city is almost on lockdown. So it's the big thing, But growing up, playing soccer, loving soccer, it was not something that was implemented in our community. I would say like 15, 18 years ago, 20 years ago. But the last 5 years, I would say, in Canada, the grassroots football is coming up with more subscription, more talent, more demand of coaching and everything. So the curve is changing, and the tradition of our sport is changing a little bit in our country, which is nice to see, because like you just mentioned, it was hockey, it's still hockey, but soccer is slowly coming up into the culture and the grassroots football of our communities.
So how did you start playing? Did you have like a local club? Were you playing mostly in the streets? Like tell me about the early days of like falling in love with the game.
I have an older brother who's 3 years older than me, and he started to play. So as the younger brother, I went to practice, and I was like, hey, I want to do this too, and I kind of loved it right away. And back in Montreal, it was literally, here it's, here in Portland, my daughter just started in his soccer shots, so everybody has a orange shirt, and they just go. And when I was young, it was by country, so I was Norway, and then I had a purple / dynamic blue jersey, and I was just there with a bunch of kids kicking the ball around, and that's how I fell in love with football. Literally, I just watched my older brother. Then I did, I want to do this. And then after that, 2-3 years later, I was convinced that I was 8 at the time. And by 10,
You were 8 years
11
old. 8.
I was 8 years old at the time when I first started, so relatively late compared to people that started at 3, 4, 5. You know, and I was a goalkeeper when I was 10 years old, so I started late again, and I just fell in love with the sport and with the position. Yeah.
I love it. What was it like there? Were you in a competitive team? Were you playing also like high school? How was the like 10, 11? You're becoming an adolescent, like you're starting to like take things more seriously. How did your evolution of the game from like 8 to like your teenage years, and like did you feel that the competition got a lot bigger from like being a kid to a teenager?
Yeah, it was a fast process, to be fair. In between 10 and 16, it was very fast in terms of provincial teams when we were under 14. So 12, just play for fun with your club level, and then obviously if you do well, the provincial team arrives. And so we did the provincial programs, did the we went to the nationals under 14, under 16. And by doing that, when I was only 15 years old, I started to train with the first team in Montreal. So it went from just fun to train with the pros at a very young age. And even at 15, I wasn't grasping the opportunity yet. I was just like, oh, wow, I'm here with adults and playing first team already, training with the first team. And when I was 16, I was implemented in the Academy of Montreal. So at 15, I trained with the first team, but at 16, I signed a first deal with the Academy of Montreal, which was a second team. And then after that, I signed at 18 years old my first professional deal. So I would say from 15 to 18, it got very, very fast, and I went on with the under 17 World Cup with Canada. That was in the Mexico area, and so it was very, very fast in that time. Yeah.
What do you think took from, when you were 8 and 10 and like trying to follow the footsteps of your brother? 6 years later, you're like competing. What did it take? Was it like raw talent, or was it like more developing? Was it mental? Was it what did it take for you to like evolve so quickly from following your brother to like playing pro?
I think there was the passion first, because a lot of young teenagers are playing, has talent, but maybe it's not what they want to pursue in life. And at 15, I got a sense of like, hey, I can do something in the industry of professional football. And so I think the passion part was a big key, and then the mentality of I want to win. The winning part on a daily aspect changes things when you compete for games, and then you put yourself ahead of a certain pack, and then it goes from there. One thing leads to another. Especially at a young age, as you say, because under 16, everybody plays just to play, basically.
Yeah.
Especially back in Canada, 15 years ago, that was the situation. And so I think that was just a matter of passion and trying to win. That's, you put these things together, then the work ethic arrives, then the mentality arrives later.
That's right.
When you get into a professional environment, But I think it was mainly passion and trying to win.
When did you realize like, wow, like I'm really good, I could go pro at this? Was there like somebody, like a mentor, somebody that told you? Was it the family? Was it yourself?
I think nobody told me, but I think there was a sign of trust. When I say the sign of trust is I have two coaches that made a big impact, obviously, in my life. Mark Dos Santos, now assistant at LAFC, and Youssef Daha, goalkeeper coach in Vancouver Whitecaps right now. But these were the two guys who trusted me when I was 15 back in Montreal to put me into a first team environment. Mark was the first coach to invite me to a first team training, and Youssef, since I'm 12, 13, he's been my mentor as goalkeeping. So he taught me everything that I know on the field, either tactically, physically, mentally, all those aspects that you need to form a goalkeeper. Like, he brought me throughout throughout that journey, you know. And so 15 years later, we still talk every week, you know. That's a mentor for me, for sure. And then Mark, I still have a fantastic relationship. You know, from Montreal, he was the man who did the moves behind the scenes to make a trade happen, so I can go to Vancouver for 3 years. And then he was a part as well of my transaction to go to LAFC later in my career as well. So he's been a factor in my career, yeah.
It's incredible to think about those people that have a major impact in our lives, right? That it's hard to imagine achieving something without them, right?
Yeah, you need to have somebody at some place, especially in football, to believe and to see the potential, and then to put the time and to work to invest in yourself to become a better athlete. Honestly, I think you need to have those people to trust you and to push you in order for you to live your dreams. Yeah.
Talk to me about your first game starting as a professional.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember when you got called? Do you remember what it felt like warming up, knowing that you would start?
We got destroyed 4-1 in New York Red Bulls. I will always remember. It was Montreal against New York Red Bulls in Red Bulls Arena. And it was where Thierry Henry just retired. And it was the Mike Grella, the Bradley Wright Phillips. It was the Sasha Clarenstein, Dax McCarty, Luis Robles. It was the golden years of the Red Bulls years, like mid 2010. And so we lost that game 4-1. It was a difficult one because obviously you're a little bit nervous, excited to play your first MLS game, and the result does not pull off. So it was disappointing, but in the meantime, you could taste what it could feel like, and from that moment, at a young age, you take that moment and you say, "Oh, I'm gonna learn from this, and this is what it is. The MLS, that's what's the experience." Now you just take it and learn from that moment. But I was truly happy and excited when it first happened.
How old were you?
I was 21, I want to say, or 22, yeah.
21, 22. Very young for a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Right? Like to start against those players that probably a few years ago you were watching on TV, right? Playing in Europe, a lot of them.
Yeah. It was very interesting time, very excited. And because you're a little bit younger and you focus a little bit on yourself, how to prepare for the game, you don't overthink either on who you're facing too much. Because there's already so much happening during the 48 hours before the game until kickoff. So very excited. When you look back at it, it's a fantastic learning process of these things. Sometimes it goes super well, sometimes it goes bad. But my time, I remember I came off in the locker room, I was like, "Whew, 4-1 is heavy," but it's football, it's life, yeah.
I think as a goalkeeper, right? It's like, okay, you had to go get the ball 4 times from the net, but then like you got to think about the next game, right? And you cannot say that was my first game, it didn't go the way that I wanted, and like dwell in it. Yeah. You got to already move on to the next.
That's what it is, goalkeeping. Goalkeeping is what's next all the time. You cannot dwell on the goal that you just conceded or the last pass you just made or the last save, whether it's a good one or you made a mistake, because the next ball is the most important thing that will happen in the game again. It's literally one ball at a time, and that's what I love goalkeeping so much. We didn't address this, but I love the adrenaline of being the last man as well, being the guy that you're kind of the team rely on. And so that's how I fell in love with the position at first. But that's what it is, next play, next ball, one ball at a time. And it might sound a little bit cliche, but it's so true, it's so true.
Ted Lasso said it, right? Like, be a goldfish.
Yeah,
right?
I have to be a goldfish sometimes, yes.
Did you play the second game? Did you start again the following week?
The following week I started after that. Montreal gave me 4 games at the end of the year since I believe we were already out of the playoff that year. And so they gave me 4 games to see the potential that I could have. So I believe I started after this. I think it was against New England. I'm sure about the first game, but not the second game. I think it was in New
England Revolution.
Yeah, exactly. I believe it was a 2-2 tie. And after that, it was the end of the year. And after that, I went on loan to Ottawa to get some games. So it was good.
we have spent some time talking before the interview and in other times that we met about the special relationship and the bond between goalkeepers in the same squad.
Yep.
Right, and it's such an interesting relationship, and I think it's very unique, right? Because of the nature of the position. Normally, if like one goalkeeper does well, like it's hard to like move them compared to other positions where they're, you can rest a player. Like in goalkeeper, it's less common. Where it's like competition. I want to start. I want to be better than you, and then it's brotherhood. And I feel like it's unlike any other position in soccer. Obviously you play it. How do you live that? Whether it's in your club or your national team.
Yeah, no, there's goalkeepers. It's not a common position. You have outfield players that you might be a center back, but you could have some minutes on the right back. Something happens emergency wise. You're a midfielder. You can drop in the back line. Goalkeepers, there's one guy playing and done. That's how it is. That's the nature of it. And so in training, you want to work together every single day. You want to push yourself on a daily basis, and there's only one playing. Obviously, you want to play. There's no doubt about that. But the competition needs to be a healthy one. It's very important that you have a good relationship with the human beings because you are trying to get the best out of everybody in a goalkeeper session. But you cannot do that if one guy is being an asshole. You cannot. It's almost impossible. And there's that understanding and that synergy between 3-4 goalkeepers and the goalkeeper coach. Everybody understands that. And what's very important, I believe, is to put aside the feeling of, you want to play. Everybody wants to play. Everybody can play.
Yeah.
But to put that aside and to be the best you can be and control what you can control in training. And it sometimes it sucks and it's not fun, but the decision comes to the head coach. And you get to roll with that decision, even though you don't agree sometimes. But you have to make sure that you put yourself in the best condition possible in order to play when game day arrives, But competition internally, it's very important that everybody has a good mindset towards that because the year is going to be a long one if you have not good teammates.
Exactly. And it's like you compete, and the moment that a decision has been made, that like you said, it's outside of your control, then you're like the biggest supporter of your fellow goalkeeper, right? And at that point, you're like their number one fan, their number one supporter.
Yeah, you have to because not only being a keeper that does not play on the weekend, you need to do everything you can to have your guy ready for the weekend. Not only you do your work, but you're trying to pick up little details that the guy who's playing obviously can do better in training. How can he catch more balls? How can he be in a better spots in certain situations? Just trying to help him to succeed, basically. And that's the big goalkeeper union that we always talked about. That's so true, but it is not something that is taken for granted. It's something that is that matters.
Is it hard to stay motivated, right? You go through so many stints like a goalkeeper, right? Where you're like starting, and then something happened where it's an injury or a new coach or a mistake, and then all of a sudden you're not starting. How do you stay motivated at the same level when you're not starting?
Well, it's interesting, it's the first time in my career it happens now, so it's very interesting. Still navigated it, but to be fair, it doesn't last forever. This too shall pass, and you got to be never too high, never too low. You got to be always in the middle. Those are the things that you need to tell yourself, because professional sports, the highs are highs, lows are lows. And if there's one thing that I've learned throughout my career so far, is that this too shall pass too. It's insane how the good moments doesn't last forever and the bad doesn't last forever. And so for me, on my personal experiences throughout winning trophies, to injuries, to missing a World Cup, to not play at the moment, you have to focus on what you can control, and there's always a solution that will come out of these situations.
I read that you had mentioned that moving to LAFC was one of the hardest decisions that you had to make. Talk to me through that decision to move to LAFC. What was it like to come to LA?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, LA. It was one of the difficult situation, difficult choices, but it was the most rewarded one. It was difficult because we loved Vancouver. It was a great experience, but we were in a place that we wanted to win trophies and to compete and everything. And the decision was not an easy one to make, but we asked for a trade, and when it did happen, and then LFC was interested, so okay, let's do it. Since LA 2021 hadn't made the playoff for the first time in their history, and so 2022 they wanted to make an historical season, which we did, and we made the move happen. We won the Shield, we won the Cup, we did the double within the year. So a few teams in the history of the league managed to do it, so it was very rewarding. And we went back to the final as well in 2023, which was a very rewarding process, even though it was very hard coming back from injury. We can touch on it if you want to a little bit later too. But it was a difficult situation, but it came down to be trophy-wise and sports-wise.
The right decision.
The right decisions, yeah.
Talk to me about that season that you end up playing. Some people say the best MLS final, right? in the history, with Gareth Bale scoring in overtime.
Most dramatic for sure.
Somebody getting a red card, I think, in that game.
I did.
But let's talk about the season, right? Because everybody, right? You look at the final, it's an amazing game. Like really, it was like almost like a Hollywood script.
Yeah.
But talk to me about the season, like how the team felt, like how was it to have somewhere like Bale like in the team that was coming from like playing in Europe. How did he adapt, and how did the team was able to become a union to make it to the final, and not just one, like you said, two in a row?
Yeah, it was a great locker room, great talent. The way that roster was built was insane. Maybe the most talented, the best group I've been part as a roster built. It was very good. We had Carlos that was already there. Giorgio arrived. Gareth arrived. So the leadership was very strong in those teams, and they experienced a lot of things in their career, and they kind of transmit that to us, the rest of the group, and we kind of seized what it takes in order to achieve those goals. And in the season, we had the good momentum as well. We were well coached. We had a good system. And we were having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins, and then you kind of seize that you can do something special, because it doesn't happen overnight. Maybe mid-season, you kind of know, okay, this is the trajectory, and that's what we're aiming for. So everybody buys in. You can smell it, you can almost touch it. So it's like it's the adrenaline of winning. It's a drug. It's an absolute drug. You want to win, you want to go more and do more again and achieve more. You never settle. It's that's how the human is, They always wants more sometimes. And so having these guys in the locker room just help us on the field to get more results and to sniff that out, that opportunity that we had. And so we went for it.
What's the role, in your position and in a team like LAFC with so many stars, of like the ego, right? Of like players, individuals that are there saying, I am the best. I had to be here with, like to be able to go and compete against other, like on what's the right balance between having that ego and then putting it aside.
There was no ego in that locker room. That was the beauty of it. Everybody was there for the group. There was no ego in that year. We had some great guys playing. There was a rotation, but it didn't touch anybody personally. There was no egos in that group, and that was the reason of our success, yeah.
Amazing. I want to touch on the Copa America last year. I had a chance to see you live in Atlanta in that game against Argentina, where you had at least 3, I think 4 stops with Messi. himself. Talk to me about what the Copa America meant for the national team as you prepare for the World Cup and that game specific, where I think the world saw like this is unbelievable. There's not many players that can say that they stopped so many chances from Messi himself.
It was special. It was special. I think we talked a little bit about that in close to the house not so long ago. But Copa America for me was a fantastic experience because I enjoyed every second of it. Missing the World Cup in 22 was a big one, big disappointment for me, emotionally, physically. Everything that was related to it was very difficult for me. And having a chance to represent my country and into another international tournament of this caliber was fantastic. And right before Copa, our last preparation game was against France in Bordeaux. And we did 0-0 in France. And I remember walking out for the national anthems. And I was in disbelief of all the French people with the white, the red and blue, supporting their country, solid crowd, amazing experience. And I just told myself on the field, have fun today, because you never know when these games are coming back.
Yeah.
And I did the same in Atlanta. I did the same in Atlanta against Argentina. Opening the tournament as well was a special one because obviously the opening game is always a game that has a lot of attention on it as well. And you play the world champ and you play the champions of Copa America, the last Copa America. So you play the reigning champion and you play the World Cup champion. Good luck.
But those are the games you want to play eventually.
That's
right?
why you play.
But I love what you said about making sure to enjoy them, right? Because it's so easy to just put on the pressure and just go and not being able to enjoy it.
It's too easy to get too much emotionally involved in the game and to forget about the pleasure of playing football like we're kids again sometimes. So to get away from that pressure, to get away from that stress.
How do you do it?
You go back to the source. You put a smile on your face and you drop the weight on your shoulder and you literally go one ball at a time. Number one, the adrenaline is going through the roof in those games. You go one ball at a time and you just seize the moment of, hey, look what I'm living right now. I will say express myself on the field. Whatever happens, happens. Like I don't have a chip on my shoulder. Like we're the underdogs.
Yeah.
So we're the underdogs. So let's go out there and have fun, and that's what we did. Even though we lost 2-0 that game, I had a great experience. I had a great moment.
Several moments.
Yeah, it sets up our whole Copa America as well. After that, we go play Peru, we go play Chile, we play Venezuela, and we play Argentina again in semifinal at the time in Jersey, and we play Uruguay for the third place. So fantastic 2 months of football right there.
Yeah.
The best 2 months of my career so far, internationally and club-wise you can talk, but for sure Copa America is the biggest event of my career, and I've literally enjoyed it.
Do you prepare in a special way when you know that you're going to face Messi? You had to face him twice in Copa America. Yeah. Is there something do you watch videos? Do you mentally prepare in a different way?
You cannot prepare for him. That's the thing. You can do anything just like that. And so we all know what he's capable to do. But I think as a group you prepare to defend a fantastic team. But even individually, you just make sure that you prepared the best you could on crosses, cutbacks, 1v1s, shots. You just cover your whole week is based on what Argentina does, which is small combination, 1v1s, try to crack teams down the middle. They're not a team that will put 45,000 crosses. No, they will break teams down with their passings. So that's what we kind of do, recreate as a goalkeeper unit, and that was it, yeah.
We talked about, hard to watch videos and hard to prepare in advance. But we've talked before about how sometimes, obviously, everybody outside of the field, that's on the stands watching the game, were in awe But you're saying that also sometimes you've seen like people inside the field are in awe of like what's happening, and that it's very, very easy to lose focus if you are not like fully locked in.
Yeah, yeah. It's I allow myself to go out of the game mentally on dead moments of the game. So if there's an injury or if the ball's out of play but it's totally not there at the corner, I allow myself to go out of my own little bubble for 1-2 seconds, take it in, seeing what's happening, and then go back into the moment and go back into the game.
Is that possible? You're able like to just
I'm able to do it. I'm able to do it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm able to do it since you're in your own bubble, in your own world. And then as soon as you have a moment to check off, to allow yourself a little mental break, even though it's almost impossible, you look around and say, oh, that's pretty loud, that's pretty cool, that's happening. Or it does happen to me sometimes when there's a fantastic chance and then the crowd gets into it and you can hear the roar or the ooh, and you can hear all the atmosphere. You sensed it like on your shoulders. You sense that.
The vibration almost of the crowd.
Yes, you sense that. And that's the part of the adrenaline that I love as well. It's the crowd, the passion of the crowd in those games were amazing, yeah.
So Canada obviously is one of the 3 host countries for the World Cup next year. What do you think this generation of Canadian players can do? And what impact do you think you can have in the sport post 26?
You know, the first time that we qualified, yeah, obviously we're a host nation, but the first time that there's back-to-backs World Cup for our nation, which slowly changed the culture of our country. Obviously, we've touched it. That ice hockey is literally our sport, but the next generations is 100% into soccer. You can watch the stats, the subscriptions, all that stuff. So I think
the sport is on the up and up.
Oh yeah, 100%. And so I think it'll change a lot of people's opinions on our sport. And a lot of people, the people is fantastic. Our fans are fantastic. As soon as the competition arrives, you can smell everybody gets behind us. And it was special to witness in Copa. So next year it'll be very special to witness it. Since we will play on home soil, so it'll be very, very special. But I think it will honestly help to change the culture of our country regarding to our sport.
Do you think that the sport could ever be as popular as ice hockey? Maybe not in the next year, but you think about the next 10, 15 years?
If we can go back to back World Cups and make these apparition on every 4 years.
Yeah.
And we can go back to back all the time. Yes, it will.
What do you guys talk about in the locker room? Like you guys like, hey, we're playing at home. You know, like there was like Pochettino when he took over the US, said like we should aim to win the World Cup, right? Even though, you know, obviously they've never done it, but as a host country and you know, they put that goal. What do you guys talk about, and what do you think Canada could do at the World Cup?
We haven't discussed openly yet about this in our group. I think we all know what we can do. We're not there just to play and to say, hey, we're happy to play. No, we're there to compete, to get through group stage and to go for it, to make a run at it. Obviously, you play the best in the world. So will it be difficult? Yes, that's the reality of it. But we don't address it as, hey, let's put this as a goal to do this, to do that. I think our team grasped it, but it's still so early. We have work to do before that. You know, we have a Gold Cup to go at it, and this we want to win it. And after that, there's gonna be we play in Budapest and in Wales in October. I think we're a group that is focused on what's next right now, and we will take care of that a month before the World Cup, not now. Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense what you were saying. Next ball, next game, next play. Don't think, 14 months in advance.
Yeah, it's a group that knows the potential that we can achieve. And we are in a very good space right now in terms of where we are on the field, the product that we put on the field, and the results that we've had in the recent months.
I love it. I'm excited to see the impact in Canada for the game, and hopefully be able to come and watch you. You got three home games, right?
Yeah, I believe it was Toronto, Vancouver, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there coming to watch at least one of those three games.
Maybe against Argentina, we don't know.
You already played them twice in Copa America, right? It looks like there's something in there. What was it like? You are in LA, very happy you won a championship there, and then you get transferred to Portland. You've been here now for how many months?
This is my second year, so we're going on 18 months now. Yeah.
18 months, so a year and a half. How has it been like playing here for Portland? We know there's like a unique culture to the fans here, and it's very different from LA.
Yeah, not different for sure. What I've loved about Portland is the community. I fell in love with the city, honestly. I've played multiple times here, but I never got to see the whereabouts of Portland. We just see the downtown area when we arrive. You eat your meal, you sleep, and you go to the game, and you fly out. And exploring a little bit more of the city, obviously, living here, it's a fantastic discovery. The city of Portland as a whole, this community, its people. We are, when I say we, my family and I, we fell in love with it. Honestly, it's fantastic. And then the stadium, the stadium I think turns 100 years old or something next year, if I'm not mistaken. Wow. And then it's the 50th of the Timbers this year. So a lot of history, a lot of people that wore the jersey before, that was here before us. And the stadium speaks for itself as well. Older stadium, older shape, used to be a ballpark, different story to the stadium, which makes the cachet of the Timbers.
What dreams do you have in football ahead? You're early 30s, a lot still to play. I think for a goalkeeper, you're kind of like in the plenitude of your career. What dreams do you have in the sport?
I don't know if I can say it on mic. I'll say this. I'll say play at the highest level for the longest time. Yeah.
That's a good dream. What's a message for young players, whether goalkeepers or another position, that are chasing their dreams, that they want to become pros? What's the message for them, for somebody from someone like you?
There's no limits. There's the only limits that you put is the one that you put to yourselves. The only thing that you can try to do is to arrive, do your best, be the best that you can be on a daily basis, and to push forward. And mistakes is part of it. And that just need to. You have a dream, work for it. That's it. That's all. It's plain and simple. Nobody achieved it except your Maradona, Messi, Ronaldo. Even Ronaldo, look at the work ethic. Messi work ethic as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's yes, there's a factor of talent, yes. But there's a dream and there's work, and that's it, that's all. Can you do it? That's mentality. Love it. So believe in yourself and just go for it. If people say you can, prove them wrong.
I love it. That was it. Max, thanks so much for joining us. It was a blast having you. And
that time flew, man.
We've had this conversation many times, just not with cameras, but appreciate it. I'm excited to continue to see you play, and excited for the World Cup that you have. I think you guys will surprise a lot of people that are not following this Canadian national team. I had a chance to see you guys play, not just in Copa America, but also recently in LA for the CONCACAF Confederations League. And I think you guys have an incredible generation of players that, like you said, are not putting limits on themselves. And I'm excited to see you guys play at home and change the sport in your own country.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. It was good. And we shall do this next time.
Yes, Max.